Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing yet another movie review. This movie is an action fantasy from Norway, Norwegian and English language with English subtitles, released in the year 2020, directed by Andre Øvredal, and this film is called Mortal. So Mortal is set in the Norwegian fjord. You've got this young American male who is wandering the woods, and we don't know why he's so far away from home, but we know that he is clearly in a lot of distress. So there is an encounter with a group of local Norwegians that results in the death of one of them that captures the attention of the authorities. So witnesses say that this man had died at the hands of this American, but they don't know how because the American didn't actually attack him. So when he's taken into custody, he's questioned, and the more they question him, the more uncomfortable they get because they believe that there is a lot more to this guy than they first thought. And when the authorities from the United States come over to Norway to collect this man, it is clear that not all is what it seems, and that the danger might not only be confined to the vicinity, but also on a very worldwide scale. So whether or not that is the case, something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Mortal. Expectations for this film were at an all-time high. Now, Andre Øvredal has really made a name for himself ever since the 2010 film Troll Hunter. Now, Troll Hunter is by far my favourite found footage movie. That was a film that combined mythology with modern day times in a way that was just so much fun. Entertainment is something that Andre Øvredal really understands, and that is something that I really appreciate about this guy, is that Troll Hunter is a film that I've watched time and time again. So since 2010, he's gone on to make films such as The Autopsy of Jane Doe with Brian Cox and Emile Hirsch. He's made Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark that I thought was a hell of a lot of fun. So it's a guy that has evolved his ways but never lost his identity, and that's something I always appreciate with foreign directors. So coming into Mortal, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but I was really excited based on the fact that this is an Andre Øvredal film and it is a movie that is tackling Nordic mythology. So that was the excitement coming into it, but I was wondering whether or not the director would capitalise on that excitement. And after watching the film, I will say that the director capitalises on that excitement to a degree. But I do have a strong level of hesitation and skepticism based on the way that this film finishes, which is something I'll go into a little bit later. But what I loved about Mortal was that it's a much more relatable Nordic mythology film. Now, what I mean by that is that Thor Ragnarok with Chris Hemsworth, it's tackling Nordic mythology, but it does get lost in its entertainment popcorn value. In that, you know, you've got Thor and you've got all these superhero characters that you can't really relate to. So yes, they are fun films, but it's a lot more fun if you can relate to these people. And Mortal really understands this, and this is what Andre Øvredal does so well. He makes very mythological and fantasy sort of movies, but he makes these movies in a way where you can connect to the characters, and he takes you on a journey as well. So in Mortal, you've got this young American who appears to be an everyday person, but then as the movie starts to go on, the mythology starts to interweave with the reality, and this is where the movie starts to jump into a caricature, but you go along with that caricature because of the relatability in these people. There's everyday people who are facing fantasy sort of elements in their life. And so as the movie progresses, I thought it got stronger and stronger and stronger, but it is a very slow sort of attention to detail build-up, which is something I really appreciated. It's because, as I said, you start in a very strong sense of reality, but then as the movie goes on, you start to lose yourself in the fantasy element. And so because it's so much more on a relatable on a personal level, I enjoyed it so much more than films such as Thor Ragnarok, as I said, that get lost in the entertainment popcorn sort of concept. So Mortal is a film that does have a very big budget, but it uses its budget very well. It uses the special effects sparingly, and when the special effects hit you, they hit you on a level that is very impressive. I really like the way that the director used the budget to this film, and that is no surprise because if you've ever seen Troll Hunter, that is some of the best special effects you will ever see. And so that was something that I'm not surprised with, but as I said, it's a very strong sort of positive that this film has going for it. I thought the acting was decent, the characters are very likeable, and there was also an addition of, you know, side stories, and these side stories do complicate the matters, and so when things are starting to go from bad to worse, there is that strong level of mystery, and right at the end that mystery is going to be uncovered, and uncovered in a way that is really, really thrilling. So this is a film that goes for about 110 minutes or so. It's a film that goes for quite a while, but I thought for the majority it does have a very slow build-up, but that slow build-up is attention to detail that it really needs. So the there's violence in the movie, especially at the end. There's a scene that really shocked me, and it surprised me in a very good way, is because it does complicate that issue and it does elevate the sense of danger. And so that's another thing that I really like. But as I said, I do have a strong level of skepticism because this movie felt like an origin film. And what I mean by that is that I got the impression that it is intending on making sequels. Now, if it doesn't make sequels, this is a film that's going to become a massive anticlimax, is because I felt as though it was unfinished business. There was a strong level of disappointment that I didn't get that rewarding feeling at the end. And because I didn't get that rewarding feeling, gave me the impression that this is a film that intends to make future installments. But if the movie doesn't do as well as Andre Øvredal wants it to, and it doesn't get future releases, then ultimately this is a film that's going to fall flat. So I can appreciate the director that he took a risk and he had the confidence in his ability to actually draw a crowd and draw enough money to make other movies. But as I said, that massive risk that if these other films aren't created, then this movie is going to be an anticlimax. It's that sense of, okay, it built itself up to something that was so good, but then it finishes just as it was getting unbelievably, entertaining. And so after that, I thought, well, okay, I really hope that there are future movies because I really need that closure. And without that closure, this is a film that's not going to really work. It is a movie that demonstrates absolutely fantastic ability, but without those sequels to really cap off what this story is building, I definitely think this is a film that doesn't work, is because it is very slow. It does take a long time to get to the good parts, and so because of that slow build-up, you do get that more relatable connection. But as I said, without that closure, this is a film that just feels incomplete, and it's really not going to work. So I had different sort of feelings in this film. I could really absorb myself into the story, but I just think it's a massive risk not to cap everything off within the runtime, because if you don't get the luck that you want to create sequels, then ultimately you're left thinking that this is a wasted opportunity. So I do hope that this is a film that gets future installments, and for that I definitely think this is a film that could make a very good franchise, but I'm just fingers crossed that it gets the opportunity to do so. So overall, for Mortal, 3.5 stars, because it is extremely well made. The build-up is very, very good, but I just want that finish in the future that I'll hopefully get. So if it sounds like your kind of thing, definitely go out there and see it. I really enjoyed it. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.